So welcome everybody to today's edition of CESI Talks. We're doing this series of interviews in the frame of a project we call WEP, which aims at bringing EU policies and EU actors closer to our members and closer to their affiliates. And today I have the particular pleasure to welcome Birgit Wintermann, labor law specialist at the Bertelsmann Stiftung. Birgit, you're welcome.
Yes, nice to be with you.
Birgit, you have been analyzing for the past months and years, almost one could say, the impacts of the pandemic on our societies and labor markets, and you're in the process also of publishing important publications, if I understand you correctly. What are your main findings at this stage?
Yes, we see, and that's on the positive side, that many companies digitalize. It's very hard word to say themselves via the Corona pandemic situation. We think this is a good thing, while the pandemic itself certainly isn't very positive. But many people started to acknowledge that there has to be something like digitalization, even though the pandemic situation might be someday not be there anymore. And they learn what they have to know about digitalization. It's not only about technology, it's not only about using digital devices, it's about changing the work models, how you work and how you work together. It's about collaboration and a different leadership model. And I think now being nearly 2 years into the pandemic, they found out how to transform their whole business, their whole organization, and how they have to work, and what has to be done to bring this into the next normal status.
We speak a lot about this double transition, so the digital transition and the, let's say, green transition. What will be the impact according to you? Because I mean, we all know, we're trade unionists, that the impacts will be important. They will hit certain sectors, certain professions very strongly. What are your predictions here, both in the positive but also for the negative?
I think everybody acknowledged now that we have to change. There have to be done certain things. And I think key for this is to be able to adapt to the situation. I think on the positive side, we learned this in the Corona pandemic situation, that we have to adapt. So we know there have to be changes, and maybe they are not that nice for us. So we have to change things we possibly don't want to change. But I think if companies are aware that they have to make these changes and try to find out the best way to adapt, they might be faster than the regulation before they have to change. I think that would be even worse. And I think digitalization itself, we still have a problem. Well, I think it's a very nice topic. Is really helpful. On the one hand, you have all the technology that helps us to invent more creative and innovative ways, perhaps to make the products and find technologies that make everything safer and greener, perhaps. On the other hand, I think this way of working helps to be innovative, to find new solutions, to be participative, and to ask all our workers and all the co-workers that everybody works together on the new solutions, what can be done. I think on the negative, if you want, so I think it's not really negative, but you have to be aware that there is not growth always. We have to be aware that some things can't be done like we did them the last 50 years and all the time before that. So we have to really change and to be a bit more humble, perhaps, and to see really what is necessary, to find new ways to solve the problems. And I think that can be a positive thing if we are really able to be a game changer in ourselves and everything we do. This might be a really positive impact and make us stronger, and not only sitting back and waiting what's happening and hoping it will be positive, but to do it for ourselves. So I think it's it's about shaping and be aware that we ourselves have it in our hands to make the changes.
We always say at CESI, we have these changes, these transitions have to be made with the workers and not only to the workers. Birgit, you also mentioned this participative element, but also the necessity to be a little bit more humble because some of these changes are simply unavoidable. However, we always say that transitions will not work if they're not socially fair. What are you saying to that?
Absolutely, I totally agree. It's about social sustainability. We can't let most people pay for it who paid all the time for everything. So we have to find ways that it doesn't get worse for everybody in the same amount. It hasn't to get worse for anybody, really worse. But we have to see to this that the people that don't have so much money and are perhaps socially not as high in their situation, that this doesn't get worse because we need everybody. Everybody has to pull at the same I don't know, leash, what do you say, am selben Strang ziehen. We have to be on the same side. If we only make the same people pay who can't really be any more humble, this will be a problem. Then we won't do this together. We have to be socially fair so that everybody can bring in everything what they can, but we will lose people if we just make them pay, and if they feel that they're the only people who pay for this, it won't help, and we won't be strong enough to do this. All these changes we have to do.
When you look now at the coming year, we're at the end of 2021. We are planning an event together with Bertelsmann Stiftung now in June, also on the subject. We will have, say, even though it's a relatively short-term perspective we're looking at, nevertheless, I think these changes will come very quickly now, will have already in the coming 6 months profound impacts. Where do you see us being in 6 months, and where do you see, possible approaches which show already, or will reveal by then, that these transitions can indeed be socially fair?
I think we all will have acknowledged that a digital transformation is really necessary for everyone, that we have to do it, that it is a key for every success in every topic in every area. And about the green transition, I think we will have acknowledged that this will be the topic for the next decades, and that we have to do something, that there will be changes. And perhaps not everything will be fun, but we have to do this, and we have to do this together. So I think we will have acknowledged that what we can do, and that we have to do it. And I think we will have made ourselves ready to do this, and to think about ways to do this. I don't think that we will have solved so many things, and I think that would be too soon to have many changes being made, but I hope that the politicians will have found ways to discuss all the topics with us, and found ways to make us work with them together and bring everybody into the boat so that we can go ahead.
Birgit, thanks a lot. You take care of yourself, and hope to see you soon in person again.
Bye.